Now, from Arkansas's News and Information Center, this is THV 11 This Morning.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Elise Edie alongside Ashley Blackstone and Tom Brandon, and apparently a table full of supplies.
Arts and crafts time.
Crayons, clothespins.
Chris Olson is here from Botanica Gardens here on this Home Garden Wednesday. He's our lifestyle expert, so he's trying to get the kids excited to go back to school.
Back to school. And we've got
take these.
Oh, you're going to take
Love
the
some
crayons?
crayons.
I'm glad this is not happening this afternoon because
Wine corks? I mean, you never
we'd
know.
melt the crayons. They're made of wax.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, so a hot one going on, and I'm not just talking about the weather. I'm talking about the Wednesday weather song of the day. I can tell you what song's probably not going to win. Donna Lewis.
Come on, guys.
I
That's
love the
my
song.
pick.
I love
Vote
it.
for it.
It's a good one.
We'll unveil the winner coming up here around 6:45. Let's see if we're winners or losers today in the forecast world. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies. Our temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. 79 here, 75 in Searcy, Mountain Home 70, 76 in Fayetteville, 72 in Mena. With that, the northern part of Arkansas last night did have some thunder shower activity. We have some of this left over northeast Arkansas, just to the west of I-55, near Blytheville, Pocahontas, Jonesboro. More activity near Newport this morning, southeast of Batesville, up to around, let's say, Sharp County. This activity continues to drift to the east. There's more behind it that'll come in later today. Here's a planner for the day. Our rain chances and thunderstorm chances about 30% this afternoon. And today and tomorrow, a little bit cooler. Look for mid-90s. Whatever sunshine we get will help to warm things quickly. That is a look at the weather. We'll send things back to Ashley and Elise.
Tom, thanks a lot. New security measures are now in place at Hendrix College in Conway.
This comes after a 21-year-old student says she was raped by 3 men who broke into her apartment. Reports show all of this happened last week at Huntington Apartments. That complex is just off of campus and is owned by the school.
Yeah, college officials say since then they've increased police presence on campus and they've relocated some students who lived in that complex. Dean of Students Jim Wilkins says they also spoke with students to get their suggestions.
It's important because they're the ones that live on campus. They're the ones that have ideas about how they would feel safe.
Other suggestions include installing a fence and cameras, adding lighting, and examining the locks on student housing facilities. Hendrix says they are taking those suggestions seriously.
Well, the Pulaski County Special School District is ensuring the safety of its students in the event there's a school shooter.
Deputies and police officers used fake guns, and the school staff acted as students during a simulation yesterday. Here's THV 11's Mary Elmos.
It starts out as a regular day in this simulated PCSSD classroom.
If you have any questions, raise your hand. I'll be walking around the room.
But when this man enters the classroom, everything will change.
I'm tired of y'all messing with my kids.
Again, this is a simulation.
It's a very fluid event. It's a very fast event.
PCSSD principals and teachers act as students.
Most of us are going to do what we need to do in order to protect our students.
And the gun is fake.
It'll make a noise only. It doesn't fire any kind of projectiles. So there's not going to be any live ammunition here.
But the response and reaction is accurate.
It's going to be pretty real. It's going to be as close to as real as we can get it.
The Director of Safety and Security at PCSSD says staff is usually the first line of defense against the shooter.
In my experience, training makes a better response.
But a new tool, now a state law requirement, will cut police response time in half.
School administrators will have the ability to access and activate a panic button system.
The button is an app on all administrators' smartphones. Starting this fall, it will be used in schools across Arkansas.
That's something that is an easy tool to utilize in reference to responding to an emergency situation.
Mary Elmos, THV 11 News.
The federal government is funding these panic buttons installations across the country. PCSSD administrators are also getting their panic buttons installed next week. A Maumelle family thankful to be alive this morning. The Briggs lost their home after it caught fire yesterday, and they know this feeling all too well. Their home in Faulkner County was destroyed after last year's tornado. Reports show 3 people were inside at the time, and that is when 2 Good Samaritans yesterday passed by the house on Highway 365, saw the smoke and pulled over to help. Everyone did get out safe. Meanwhile, the homeowners say they are counting their blessings.
Everything the tornado didn't take, the fire did. So, but we're alive. We're blessed. That's all I can say. We're blessed.
The American Red Cross is now helping the family, and investigators don't know the exact cause yet of that fire. The state's Department of Emergency Management once again accepting applications for storm shelter rebates. The agency says after numerous concerns and complaints, they decided to bring it back. It was stopped earlier this year after the number of people who applied exceeded the total amount of rebate funding. You do have until January of next year to now apply, but your shelter must have been installed on or before June 30th of this year in order to qualify.
Nationally this morning, we now know the candidates for the first 2016 GOP presidential debate. Chris Christie, John Kasich, Mike Huckabee, and Ben Carson are among those who'll stand next to frontrunner Donald Trump tomorrow. Now, only the top 10 candidates were selected for this, and two big names that didn't make the cut, Rick Santorum and former Texas Governor Rick Perry. The debate airs at 9 o'clock tomorrow on the Fox News Network. And for a third year in a row, the number of inmates dying from non-natural causes behind bars is on the rise. The Department of Justice released a report yesterday, and it came on the same day the family of Sandra Bland filed a wrongful death lawsuit against officials in Texas. Now, an autopsy determined that she hung herself in her jail cell 3 days after being arrested. Bland was pulled over last month after police say she failed to signal while making a lane change. And the transcript from Tom Brady's June testimony about Deflategate is now public, and in it, Brady denies ever asking anyone to tamper with the air pressure in footballs. The NFL Players Association included the testimony in Manhattan federal court yesterday, formally asking the court to overturn Brady's 4-game suspension. Federal officials say that more than 380 people in 26 states have been diagnosed with a stomach illness tied to cilantro contaminated by human waste, and 3 of those people are from Arkansas. The herb reportedly came from Mexico. Right now, the CDC is investigating the cause of the latest outbreak, which appears to have begun after May 1st. Meanwhile, the Food and Drug Administration has traced the cilantro to a farm in Pueblo, and they've since imposed a partial ban on products from the region. Nearly 4 million medical records now in the hands of hackers. THV11 has confirmed that some Arkansans are affected by the data breach at Medical Informatics Engineering. Officials say medical records and personal information were ripped off. The company says the attack on their servers started May 7th, but wasn't detected for 3 weeks. Texas-based Concentra, which operates medical centers in 38 states, including Arkansas, was one of 3 companies affected. However, the company says its financial information was not compromised. For the next 2 weeks, no termination letters for Medicaid will be sent to Arkansas. That is the letter thousands of Arkansans will get if they no longer qualify for Medicaid or haven't responded to their verification notice. Governor Asa Hutchinson says the 2-week freeze is so DHS workers can catch up on a backlog of paperwork. The state has also lifted the hiring freeze so DHS can hire more workers. Teletech Holdings is once again hosting a job fair today. The company is looking to hire 140 full-time customer service reps. This is happening from 10 to 3 at the Arkansas Workforce Center on South University. And because of all of the summer heat we've been experiencing, several coaches in Central Arkansas are changing their practice schedules. Mills High School's football practice starts early in the morning and wraps up by noon. Catholic High here in Little Rock also has practice in the morning. But for Pulaski Academy, they don't start until after 6 o'clock and they go until 10 o'clock at night. Coaches say that staying hydrated is key in this heat.
The hydration starts the night before. You know, they need to be checking that, make sure their kids are getting plenty of fluids the night before. Also, 2-a-day practices largely being trimmed. Teams are not allowed to have consecutive 2-a-day practices and 3-hour maximums on any single practice session. My, how times have changed. Yeah, they have. Yeah, whipping those kids into shape. Many fruits and veggies peak this time of the year. And we want to help you keep them fresh. Still ahead this morning, the do's and don'ts of summer produce. 5 common mistakes that you'll want to avoid. And Chris H. Olson with Botanica Gardens, getting your kids ready for school with a little fun. We'll check in with Chris coming up. Also, we will check in with Officer Michelle Hill at the 12th Street Station for the Little Rock Police Department's community rally. Tom?
Weather-wise, we'll check out your forecast for the day today and unveil who won today's Wednesday Weather Song of the Day. We're back in 2 minutes.